Welcome to Pink's Barn again. This time we're going to look at the fabrics used for counted cross stitch and why they cause so much confusion and why it's really very simple. Now first we have Aida fabric. It's actually called after the opera, so it should really be Aida, but everybody calls it Aida. And that's this fabric here. Then we have easy count Aida, which simply means that there is a line every 10 threads, so it's easy to count your threads. And this will come out when you wash it. So it's not intended to be a checked fabric. Then we have even weave. Now this is where it all gets muddly. People come up and say to me, please can I have some even weave? And what they don't realise is it doesn't mean that the fabric is even. It means that if you put a ruler on the fabric, the same number of threads go across and down, which means that your stitches will be square when you make them. So in other words, this is even weave, this great big chunky fabric here. And so is this checked fabric, it's even weave. This one is actually linen, and the only difference between this and the others is this one's made of flax. The best example of even weave and non-even weave fabrics are these two samplers. One of them was stitched in 1777 by a 10-year-old girl, and one of them stitched quite recently by a lady who was not 10 years old, called Jane Napier. Jane is completely mad. She worked this bottom design on an even weave Kingston fabric, 57 threads to the inch. And if you look at both these pictures, you'll see that one of them is very definitely portrait shaped and one of them is very definitely square. So Mary Ann Gollin's original sampler was worked on non-even weave material, which means the crosses weren't actually square. You can also see the advantage of working on linen. Some of the little sheep in these close-ups were actually worked over one thread, some of them worked over two, so you get the different scales. Now fabrics are sold by the metre, and just to completely confuse you, they're then sold by threads or squares to the inch. Don't ask me why, it's how it's done. So when someone refers to a 14 count Aida, what they mean is there's 14 stitches to any 1 inch. So if you're not sure what count your fabric is, you put a ruler on top of the material and you count the boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And that will tell you how many stitches there are to an inch. The same thing applies when you work with linen. In fact, any of these fabrics, they're sold by numbers of threads or blocks to the inch.